Good morning, everyone. In today's lecture, we are going to study about the medium access layer, that is MAC layer of wireless LAN. Okay. In the last lecture, we have seen the physical layer. Okay. So now we are going to see the MAC layer, the first part of MAC layer of wireless LAN. Okay. So medium access control layer in any kind of network, whether it is a wired network or it is a wireless network or it is a mobile network. So its primary job is to control the medium access. That means how users are going to access the available medium, whether it is based on sharing, whether it is based on competitiveness or anything else is there. Okay, so that is the primary job of medium access layer. Okay, so now apart from that, it's also support or it also provides support for roaming, then authentication and power conservation in wireless LAN. Okay, so now in the wireless LAN, roaming means changing a foreign agent when a user moves from one foreign agent to another foreign agent. Okay, so it will be called as a roaming here. So this is bit different from a roaming what we have seen in the GSM. Okay, so authentication means here whether or whenever you move into or you get in a range of a particular foreign agent or access point, then you have to authenticate yourself in order to communicate. Okay, so and finally power conservation जो है, when you don't have a data to transmit, your power should be saved because you are ideal. So that is the power conservation. Okay, so most of the tasks are done by the access point, that means medium access layer, and is primarily controlled by the access point. Okay, so this MAC layer offers two types of services. Okay, two types of services. First one is the mandatory one that should be implemented by every particular entity inside a wireless LAN, and that is called as a asynchronous data service. Okay, so the name suggests what is the meaning of asynchronous. So it does not have any time bounding or time restrictions on it. Okay, so that means exchange of data packets are based on based effort. Okay, so the first property of asynchronous, that is it is based on best efforts. Okay, that is exchange of data packet based on best efforts. So best efforts means a sender sends the packet, then the packet delivery is not guaranteed. Okay, that means the layer involved in the packet delivery will try to deliver a packet as high as possible, but they cannot guarantee the delivery of the packet. Okay, so in the wired network, the transport layer protocol called as a UDP protocol अगर आपको याद है, so that provides this best effort kind of service. Okay, so there is no acknowledgement in UDP. Okay, so similar to that in the MAC layer, asynchronous data service are based on based effort. Okay, then second property of asynchronous data services is they support both types of packet, that is the broadcast, multicast. Okay, and it also support the unicast packets. Okay, so broadcast and multicast packets are also supported by asynchronous data services. And the third property, that one is the important, and this is the mandatory one. Okay, so both types of network, that is the ad hoc and the infrastructure network, both types of network offers this type of traffic services. Okay, traffic services means how traffic, that is your user data, will be serviced by the access point or by the medium. Okay, so these are the first services or properties of offered by this. Then the time bounded services are also offered. Okay, So time bounded service, these are the optional ones. So it is not a mandatory one. So time bounded services means services or communication that is restricted to time. Okay, like video streaming hai ya fir audio streaming hai. So wherever a time, so where time is important parameter for the communication. Okay, so these are the time bounded service. So these are supported only by the infrastructure based network. Okay, so that is important to note here. And in this case, as it's supported only by the infrastructure based network, the access point coordinates the medium access, and users do not have to, or users do not have a chance to decide how they are going to access the medium. So access point will decide how it will work. Okay, so that are the, this is the type of services followed by or offered by MAC layer. Okay, and my access point will coordinate the medium access in that case. So we'll see the details of each service. Okay, so similar to the physical layer, MAC layer of IEEE 802.11 provides three basic mechanisms, okay, for medium access layer. Okay, in physical layer also we had three basic mechanism, if you remember. So here we have again three mechanism for MAC layer also. So IEEE has standardized these mechanism. So the first one is the mandatory one. Okay, that means each node should implement this particular mechanism in its node itself. That is called as, it is based on the version of CSMA CA. Okay, it is not actually a CSMA CA, but it is based on the version of CSMA CA. Okay, so CSMA CA, that is carrier scenes multiple access with collision avoidance. So based on CSMA CA, there is one version, and that is called as the first method of IEEE 802.11 medium access layer. Okay, then the second method is the optional method. Okay, and which is used for avoiding hidden terminal problems. Hidden terminal problems, we know, we have already studied this in previous chapters. So that can be also observed in the case of wireless LAN. So those problems can be solved by the second method. Then the third method is completely different method. In this method, polling is used, okay, for time bounded services. So this method is specifically designed for the time bounded services. Okay, so we will see, or we will see each of these methods one by one. Okay, so before studying these three mechanisms, let's look at some of the important parameters that we should understand while understanding the working of medium access layer. Okay, so moving towards the part, the first two methods, these are called as a DCF. First two methods, these are called as a DCF method. Okay, that is distributed coordination function method. Okay, that means these medium access are not controlled by a single entity, but it can be distributed among the different nodes. Okay, so nodes will mutually decide how to access a medium and how to communicate or to send a packet within the medium. Okay, so that's why they are called as a distributed coordination function, that is DCF. Okay, then the third one, which is known as PCF. Okay, because it is controlled by the access point, so it is known as a point coordination function. So it is known as a point coordination function. So these are the names DCF and PCF, which are given to medium access mechanism in the wireless LAN. So DCF offers only asynchronous services. So first two are only for asynchronous, whereas PCF offers the time bounded services. Means PCF offers both asynchronous and the time bound services, but needs an access point to control a medium access to avoid a contention. Okay, so DCF offers only asynchronous, whereas PCF offers both asynchronous plus the time bounded. But in the case of PCF, even for asynchronous services, you will require a access point to avoid a contention period. Okay. Now, contention period means period in which users will compete with each other for accessing the medium. Okay, so this is important. Contention period is a period in which users will compete with each other for accessing the medium. Okay, so these are the functions in the wireless LAN MAC layer. Okay, and we have seen the services of it which are provided by these functions. Okay, so the MAC mechanism, these are called as a technically DFW MAC. This particular MAC is always known as DFW MAC. Okay, DFW MAC, that is distributed foundation wireless medium access control. DFW MAC is distributed foundation medium access control. That is a full form of DFW MAC. So from now onwards, we will use this terminology for mentioning each of and every mechanism that we are going to study. So let's look at the parameters which we should be which we should understand all this mechanism. So the three mechanisms, they are technically now renamed to the three parts. The first one, that is first access method, is DFW MAC, TCF, CSMA, CA. So this is the mandatory, as we have already seen. Then the second one, that is DFW MAC, DCF with RTS and CTS. Okay, this is optional. Now see, both are the DCF based. दोनों को अगर देखा रहेगा तो both are DCF based. Okay, the first one is CSMA based, second one is the hidden terminal problem solving based. So it is using RTS and CTS packet for solving the hidden terminal problem. And the third one is based on the time bounded services, or providing the time bounded services based on the PCF, that is point coordination function. Okay, so this is also optional one. So as we can recall about the CSMA technique, if you remember. Okay, so CSMA uses a back off mechanism. We will see how that back off mechanism works in CSMA CA in terms of wireless LAN. So that is taken from a CSMA CA, that collision avoidance technique. Okay, then it provides a minimum distance between consecutive packets. Okay, this back off ensures that two packets are not consecutively sent. Okay, so there will be some gap between two packets. That gap avoids the collision. Okay, so this is how we are going to work. So that we'll see in details afterwards when we are going to see the details of it. So for multicast or unicast packets, acknowledgement is demanded in this particular scheme. Okay, so acknowledgement packet for acknowledgement is used, means acknowledgement packet means ACW packet by this particular method, but it is not used for broadcast packet. Okay, then the second method, as I said, it is for solving the hidden terminal problem. This is the method 1, method 2, and method 3. Okay, this second method, it is based on the MACA MACA protocol that is studied, or we have already studied. Okay, so it is using RTS and CTS packet. So we will see details of it later on. Now the third one is based on the polls, that is polling. Polling means asking each other one by one about whether they want to access the medium or not. Okay, so we will see this also in details afterwards. For all access methods, several parameters are important for controlling the waiting time before medium access. Okay, so what kind of parameters? So as I said, that the packet are consecutively sent, so there is a certain waiting time or waiting period is in between. So how much waiting period it should be? For that, there are several parameters defined by the IEEE for controlling waiting time before medium access as well as for packet transmission. Okay, so usually in wired services, whether a packet arrives at a MAC layer, so that is for transmission. So if the medium is free, immediately it may be transmitted. So that does not happen in the case of CSMA. Okay, that does not happen in the case of CSMA. Okay, so what happens there, we will see that during in the detailed explanation of CSMA. But certain waiting period is always there before transmission, and for that we will study these different parameters. Okay, so there are called as DFW MAC priorities. So that is who will get the first priority for transmission of a packet. So that is based on the waiting period, and it has also follow, which is defined by the IEEE. So the figure that we are going to see in the next slide basically. Okay, so that is based on, or that is how one will get the first time to access the medium, which one will get the second access, and which one will get the last access to the medium. So the values of these parameters are dependent on several different things, like physical layer implemented, whether it is based on infrared hai, whether it is FHSS, whether it is DSSS based. Okay, so based on that, plus the slot time, okay, that is employed by that, or the slot time that is employed by the physical layer. Okay, what is slot time? So slot time is derived from a medium propagation delay. Derived from medium propagation delay. That means how much time it takes to deliver a packet from sender to receivers. So that is a propagation delay. Okay, so how much time spent in the air, that is propagation delay. Then the transmitter delay. Okay, so how much time it takes to transmit a packet from a node towards the medium. Okay, so if a packet size is suppose 1 GB, the transmitter delay will definitely will be a much larger period compared to the if a packet size is of 1 byte. Okay, so 1 byte data can easily be transmitted, but 1 GB data takes a lot of time for transmission. So there are several other physical dependent parameters are there which decides the slot time. Okay, so for slot time for FHSS, it is defined as 50 microsecond slot time, and for DSSS, the 20 microsecond slot time is decided. Okay, because FSSS is slightly complex than the DSSS in terms of transmission technique. Okay, so these are the slot time, and based on this slot time, our three parameters will be defined. Okay, so the medium, it can be busy or it can be ideal also. So based on that, you have to wait. Okay, so medium is again whether it is busy or ideal, it is detected by the CCA. Okay, in physical layer we have already seen what is CCA. Okay, so you have to wait. So how much waiting period will be? So based on three parameters. Okay, if the medium is busy, it can be due to the ongoing data transmission or ongoing control transmission will be there. Okay, so during the contention phase, several nodes try to access the medium. Okay, so at that time also a backup timer will be activated at each node, and that is based on also again a slot time. Okay, so maybe the contention period will be of 10 slot times or 20 slot times depending on the number of users available in the medium. Okay, so let's look at the slot types. Okay, So three waiting periods that are defined by the IEEE that are known as SIFS, PIFS, and DIFS. Okay, SIFS stand for short interframe spacing. PIFS stand for that is PCF. PISF is nothing but the PCF interframe spacing. It is known as PCF interframe spacing, and DISF stand for DCF interframe spacing. Okay. So the waiting period for DCF is DISF, waiting period for PCF is PIFS, and waiting period for control packet is SIFS. Okay, that is the summary of it. Okay, so let's see the SIFS. So SIFS is of highest priority. That means this is a shortest waiting time. Remember, highest priority means shortest waiting time. If a node has to wait for a shortest waiting time, that means it has a that particular node has a highest priority. Okay, so this type of waiting time is prepared for sending a control packets, that is acknowledgement, या फिर CTS or polling response. Okay, so polling response request, that type of packets are sent. So after waiting for SIFS amount of time. Okay, so for DSSS, the SIFS is of 10 microsecond. For FHSS, it is 28 microsecond. Okay, so that is the predefined by the IEEE 802.11 standard. So then the second one is the PIFS. So it has a second priority. So that is the medium priority. That means it is neither slowest or longest waiting time, nor it is a shortest waiting time. Okay, so it is in between longest and shortest. So it has the medium priority. Okay, it is used for time bounded services. It is used for time bounded services using PCF. Okay, so how much is the PIFS time? So PIFS is equal to SIFS plus one slot time. Okay, so that is a PIFS. Okay, so whenever a node is using a time bound service or service of PCF, so it has to wait PIFS amount of time before it can send a packet. Okay, then the third one is the DIFS. Okay, that is a least priority or lowest priority. That means, so it is a lowest priority. So it is used by asynchronous data service. Okay, offered by the DCF and PCF both. Okay, so DIFS is used for asynchronous data services. So how much it is? So it is SIFS plus 2 slot times. Okay, so that means if a node wants to transmit a data packet in a asynchronous data service mode, then it has to wait DIFS amount of time before transmission. Okay, so I hope all three parameters are clear now. That is SIFS, PIFS, sorry, PIFS and DIFS. Okay, so we'll see one example for this. So let's say node 1, there is a node 1. Okay, wants to send a packet and the packet is just arrived at the MAC layer. Okay, then let's say this is using a asynchronous data service. What type of packet it is or service it is? Asynchronous kind of service. Okay, so if it is using asynchronous data service, how much time it should wait before accessing the medium? So it should wait, though it is a asynchronous kind of data service, कितना time होना चाहिए? DIFS amount of time. Okay, so here you can see it is waiting for DIFS amount of time. Okay, so it is waiting for DIFS amount of time, and then it checks whether the medium is busy or free. Medium is busy or free using CCA, if you remember. Okay, that is clear channel assessment. Okay, so if the medium is busy, so it will further wait, and suppose if medium is free, so it will direct access or get direct access to the medium if the medium is free. Okay, that is after DIFS amount of time. Once it start accessing the medium, so it can send a data packet. Okay, so direct access कब रहेगा? When it sends that medium is free, after waiting for DIFS amount of time, it will start accessing the medium. Okay, so when it start accessing the medium, it can send a data packet. Okay, so medium becomes busy now. When it start accessing the data packet, so it will start sending a data packet. So now medium is busy. Okay, because node is now transmitting the packet. Okay, so if there was a single packet to send, suppose अगर एक ही packet send करने का है, then it will be expecting acknowledgement. Okay, so now acknowledgement may be given or may not be given also, because we know this is a asynchronous kind of service. Okay, or asynchronous data transfer. So let's assume that packet transmission is complete, then there is no more data is transmitted by node 1. Okay, then other nodes within this particular wireless LAN will try to access a medium. Okay, so there will be a competition now. There will be a competition between these number of users which are trying to access the medium. Okay, but it does not start immediately, because depending on the type of service they are getting, whether it is a time bounded service, whether it is a asynchronous service or any other type of service, they have to wait. They have to wait for how much time? Either a DISF amount of time, PIFS amount of time, or SIFS amount of time. Okay, for beginning a contention period. Okay, so contention period is a period during which users will compete with each other for accessing the medium. Okay, so suppose if a user has a time bounded service offered by the PCF, then it will wait for how much amount of time? So it will wait for time bounded service, so it will wait for PIFS amount of time. If the service is asynchronous kind of, then it will has to wait for DIFS amount of time. Okay, so this is how the waiting periods are used. Okay, so we are going to see the to understand the contention period, we are going to see the first method, okay, offered by IEEE 802.11 MAC layer, and that is called as a DFW MAC DCF using CSMA. Okay, that is carrier sense based on CCA, clear channel assessment. That is DFW MAC DCF using CSMA. Okay, CSMA CA. Okay, so at station that is ready to send, suppose one station is there and it is ready to send, so it starts sensing the medium via CCA. Okay, so let's say packet arrive at the MAC layer, so a station knows that it has a packet to send, so it start sensing the medium with the help of CCA. Okay, now first condition is, suppose if the medium is free, so if the medium is free, so what it can do, so it will wait for DIFS amount of time. Okay, so as we have assumed, this is a asynchronous kind of data service. Okay, so if the medium is free for a duration of interframe spacing, station can start sending. So after waiting, so if a medium is free, here is medium is supposed to be free. Okay, so it has started the transmission process. Okay, suppose if the medium is busy, the station has to wait for free IFS. Okay, so if medium is still busy during this, then it has to further away until medium becomes free. Okay, so that is again depend based on the interframe spacing time. Okay, then the third situation, if another station is occupying the medium, okay, during back off time of a station, then the back off timers get stops. So this is called as a fairness. This is called as a fairness. Now this is important to understand. Now after waiting of DIFS amount of time, our contention period will start, okay, for sending a next packet. Now during this particular period, it observes that another station is occupying the medium. Okay, so how much time it should wait before start sensing again? So that is based on the back of timer. Okay, so how much time it will wait, and that is for back, it is depend on the back of timer, and that is stop. So if the medium is busy, to avoid unfair advantage to other users, the back of timer is used. Okay, so let's see the simple communication between sender and the receiver to understand this. Okay, so two nodes using the particular technique, sending the unicast packet, suppose. Okay, now this we have already discussed. So this is the sender, this is a receiver. Okay, so and these are the other stations. Okay, so as we are using asynchronous data service, sender has to wait for DIFS amount of time, or it will wait for DIFS before sending the data. Okay, what it sends, or what once it sends, the medium is free, so it starts sending the data. Medium free rahega, so it will start sending the data. Okay, receiver provides the acknowledgement after waiting the SIFS amount of time, because receiver has to send the acknowledgement, and acknowledgement is a control packet. So control packet के लिए हम SIFS amount of time wait करते हैं, and for control packet waiting time is SIFS amount of time. So okay, acknowledgement is sent. So once the acknowledgement is sent, so communication between sender and receiver is over here. Suppose only एक ही packet अगर भेजना रहेगा तो, so medium becomes free now. Okay, so it will again, other station will again wait for DIFS amount of time, and contention period will begin. Okay, and procedure will follow. Okay, so that is how the packet are sent using the first scheme, that is CSMA CA. First it will sense the channel using CCA, and afterwards it will send the packet. Okay, so this is how the DIFS waiting time, SIFS waiting time, and PISF waiting times are used. Okay, so there are two more methods are there. We have seen CSMA CA. There are two more methods. One is the based on RTS CTS, and other one is based on polling. So that are remaining. So that we will see in tomorrow's lecture. Okay.